Hey, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today, I'm feeling nice. I took care of my body, and I'm feeling good. I'm feeling so good. We're almost done with this series. We've been talking about body confidence, body acceptance, body neutrality, all the things that have to do with our body and how we perceive it. And we've had some hard conversations, we've had some fun, loving conversations. And as we close this conversation, this month long conversation, I thought it would be nice to have a video about practicing positive self talk and reducing negative self talk and reframing how your inner critic speaks to you, because unfortunately we are stuck with our inner critics. It's that inner voice. There's absolutely no way to get rid of it or silence it, but we can learn how to live with it and how to reframe our thoughts to kind of talk to ourselves in a way that will improve our relationships with our bodies, with ourselves, all that jazz. Yeah. So before we continue, I'm just gonna shout myself out to for you to check out all the content that I've released this month in relation to this topic, so that you can dive deep. If you haven't already, there's a lot of stuff on my blog. There's some videos on YouTube as well. My Instagram also has things I really need to update that highlight. So hopefully by the time this is posted, I will have updated my highlights to include the conversations that we're having around body image. And yeah, on my highlights, on my stories. Yeah. So let's get into the meat and bones of the video. The inner critic is that voice, that voice that nags you and keeps telling you how you're not pretty enough, you're not looking good enough, you're fat, you're too skinny, you're basically it's just that voice that kind of puts you down and belittles and shames you. And now in this situation, in this scenario, we're talking about belittling you and shaming you for how you look, for your appearance, especially when it comes to your body. And the thing is, if you pay close attention to how you talk to yourself about your body, basically how your inner critic speaks, it sounds like someone you know. It sounds like someone who has shamed you in the past, someone who has spoken to you in a degrading, minimizing way, humiliating way in the past, or something that has just hurt your feelings, someone who's pointed out your insecurities. It sounds like someone, basically, is what I'm saying. If you pay close attention to how you speak yourself, it could remind you of maybe a parent, or maybe a bully from school, or maybe a teacher, or maybe a sibling. It just reminds you of someone who constantly or it's basically uses the language that those people used on you, that made you start feeling disconnected to your body in one way or the other. And so, like I said, we can't get rid of the inner critic. We can't get rid of that voice in our heads, because funny enough, believe it or not, that voice is there for our good. It's trying to protect us. It does it in a shitty way, I'm not gonna lie, but it's there to protect us. It's trying to protect us. It's trying to prevent us from going through those feelings that we went through when those things were said to us. So it kind of reminds you of the criticism, so that you can stay away from, let's say, for example, you want to wear, how do I say it? Like, you want to wear a top that's gonna show your back. It's backless, but you have back rolls, and someone has ever made you feel funny about having back rolls, right? Or you've ever felt funny about having back rolls and maybe still do. That feeling that you got when you first realize that maybe back rolls are not something that people appreciate, came after a certain criticism. And so your mind remembers that feeling, and it remembers the criticism it received. So it tries to protect you by repeating that criticism or something similar, so that you can avoid putting yourself in a situation where you feel the same way that you felt, because that feeling was not pleasant. So it might remind you that your back rolls are showing, so that you cover up, so that you don't experience that pain. You get what I mean, yeah. But we can reframe how we speak to ourselves. We can reframe how the inner critic shows up in our heads when we're talking about our body. And we're gonna explore some of my favorite ways that you can use to kind of reframe your inner critic's voice and practice a bit more positive self-talk. So my first and favorite, my current favorite right now, is kind of, I want to say, personifying your body. When I say that, I mean, like, if it makes sense to you, give your body a name. But basically addressing your body as though it was someone, like an actual other person. Address your body with a pronoun or a name or whatever. Basically just like talking to your body, but personifying that, because now it allows you to practice more compassion. Because if I say my body is ugly, it's not so bad. But if I say she's ugly, it's giving, we don't do that here. So how do I say this? I feel like it just allows you to be a bit more compassionate with your body and show it a bit more love, because it's kind of like you're disconnecting yourself from your body, because it's easier for us to be compassionate and loving with people outside ourselves, like anything outside this, in our heads, whatever. It feels easier to be more compassionate with other people. So it kind of makes you look at your body as your friend. The way you would speak about your friend, right? You wouldn't tell your friend, even though they have the exact same body type as you, wouldn't be telling them that they look bad, or they look like their arms are too flabby or whatever. And if you do, you're a horrible friend. I'm not even gonna sugarcoat that. You don't. Especially if it's coming from a point of shaming, you're a horrible friend. But the point is, try to talk to your body like you would talk to your friend, or you would talk about your friend's body. So that's just basically it, trying to disconnect yourself from your body to speak to her, my body. I use the pronoun her, in the way that you talk to your friend about their body, or you talk about your friend's body. So yeah, that's point number one. So kind of detaching yourself from that. And funny enough, it allows you to disconnect but also reconnect with your body, because it's like, okay, you start being a bit more kind to your body. Another thing is to how do I say this, acknowledge the things that your body is able to do for you. This stems from body neutrality, the practice of listening. The practice of acknowledging what your body does for you outside appearance. So acknowledging your body based on what it's able to do for you, and not how it looks, basically. So you can be grateful for your body for allowing you to experience pleasure, for allowing you to be able to walk your dogs, for allowing you to be able to enjoy swimming, I guess, for allowing you to be able to enjoy your favorite foods. Just small things like that, kind of. And even just like reciting a lot of body positive or body neutral affirmations, like I said in my blog post about affirming your body. There's a way I feel like affirmations are kind of done that's not really effective, when you just copy what someone has. It's okay if that works for you, that's fine. But a lot of the time you find that you can say someone's affirmation, but it doesn't hit the same way. Like an affirmation you've seen online doesn't hit the same way as you affirming yourself, or kind of tailoring that affirmation to your context. And even just, it has to be something believable. Like, if I don't like anything, or I don't like how I look, I think I'm too fat, and I start telling myself, no, you're not fat, you're perfect, you're beautiful enough, and I don't believe that yet, it's gonna be so much harder. It's gonna feel like I'm faking it, and it's gonna be less effective. So what I can do instead is focus on something that I love, or have some neutral thoughts, like, my body allows me to enjoy swimming, right? Like the ones that we said. So having a neutral thought, or a thought like, my body is the least interesting thing about me. Um, I have a body, like even something as simple as that. I like my nails, I like my smile, I like how my fingers look. Um, or even, it could even be, I like how my ass looks in these jeans. So it's basically just trying to find neutral points, and even affirmations that are kind of, that make sense to you and the journey you're on. I have a list of like about 42-ish, I think, affirmations on my blog. I'm gonna put the link in the description below. But yeah, basically, it's one of those situations where you just try to gradually move up the ladder. It's basically, we're just using the framework of the thought ladder. Having, this is my negative thought that I'm not beautiful enough, or I'm too fat to be beautiful, or I'm too fat to be accepted, or I'm not lovable enough, or I'm too skinny, um, all those things, or my arms are weird, things like that. And then having those neutral thoughts. I mean, first, let's even forget about the neutral thoughts. Having a positive thought, that's kind of like your goal thought. So my goal thought is, I want to think that I'm perfect as I am. I want to think that I'm beautiful. I want to feel like I don't have to care about my appearances and things like that. So between coming from here where you're at now, where you don't really say those positive things about yourself, and getting to these positive things that you want to say about yourself, there needs to be a couple of neutrals that allow you to get there. So it's kind of like you're climbing up the ladder. And I think what can help, especially in this situation, is I like to make a list. It's kind of like a pro and con list, but not really pros and cons. It's your intrusive thoughts, so the negative thoughts, the intrusive thoughts you have about your body, and some of the neutral and maybe positive thoughts or affirmations that you can counteract each with. For example, I'm not I'm not lovable enough because I'm not lovable because I'm big, or because I'm small. And the thought that you can use to counteract that would be, my body is the least interesting thing about me. I have so much more to offer this world than how I look. Which, kind of, as long as it makes sense to you. So whenever you catch these thoughts, replace them with that, which brings me to my next point. Practicing positive self-talk. The only way you can take away negative self-talk is by attacking it with positive self-talk. So whenever you catch yourself, and I know it's not always gonna happen that you catch yourself, especially because this is just a habit. Whenever you do catch yourself talking negatively about your body, use some of the thoughts that you've created that you can use, that are a bit neutral or more positive, like the ones in the list, the intrusive thoughts versus the compassionate thoughts list, and use those instead. So when you catch yourself saying that, like, pause, tell yourself you're sorry, and then reframe it with the more positive thought. That way you start building the muscle of speaking to yourself differently, and talking to yourself in a more positive light. And I think when you use these more neutral, and more positive affirmations, especially the neutral, like something that's believable and accessible, but more positive than your negative thought, and then you continue gradually climbing up the ladder. You can also use this in that exercise that people talk about, like looking at yourself in the mirror naked and being like, yeah, you're 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 okay. You have your ass looks good in these jeans. Your whatever, finding those words that you want to say to yourself, like, I like how my stomach looks today. I like how my thighs look today. I like how my knees look. I like my legs. Finding things like that, even to say to yourself on a daily while you look at yourself. Another thing, girl, you need to get comfortable with your body, with your naked body. I keep saying this, but that's another thing. So yeah, keep talking to your body in more positive and affirming ways. And even to touch on the point, backtracking again to the point of having your list of intrusive thoughts and compassionate thoughts, it might be helpful to keep reminding yourself that thoughts are just thoughts. They're not reality. These are just thoughts. And you create your reality. You can change how you think about these things. But that's just like a small caveat to that. Even when you're talking about like kind of switching from negativity to neutrality, it doesn't even have to be by saying these things. Of course, you can use these things, but kind of changing how some of the words that we use, like I hate, can become I don't like. So it's kind of like you've reduced the negativity, you're moving more into positivity, because it's a spectrum. Here is negative, here is positive. I hate is on this side, and I don't like is like maybe here. So it's kind of switching up your language and speaking a bit more compassionately to yourself. Something like, sorry, that's my dad. Okay, so something like, I can't do this, I can't love my body today, could be, it's challenging to love my body today. Instead of saying I'm ugly, you could say I'm feeling ugly today, I'm having an ugly day today. So it's not like you're putting that on you and saying that I am these things. It's kind of trying to find a way around the language that you use to make it a bit more friendly, basically. And my last point, to learn how to practice more positive self-talk and speak to your body more kindly, is say it out loud, share it with a friend, ask for help. All those three things, right? Saying it out loud sometimes can be so helpful, because now it becomes a thing where you can see how ridiculous some of these things are, or you can even see how hurtful these things are. And especially don't say it out loud to yourself, because like there's that risk of now it becomes more ingrained. But saying it out loud, especially with friends or people that you feel like you can trust, so that you can hear how hurtful those things sound, and even so that they can affirm you and remind you that no, that's not what. Because sometimes we just need that help, guys. Sometimes we really just need someone to tell us different, because we learned to hate our bodies because of what other people told us, and sometimes we just need someone else to tell us also, so that we can feel like we are loving our bodies a bit more. So yeah, so there's that. Yeah, just ask for help. Tell your friends you're struggling, you're trying to speak kindly to your body. Ask them for help and support. One of the ways I ask my friends for help and support is by telling them that, especially right now in this season of my life, I really need affirmations. And it's not even like, at this point in my life, I don't really need body affirmations, but if that's what you need, that's what I'm just trying to say, ask for the support and help that you need from your friends. So like, ask for affirmations, and my friends really be pulling up with the affirmations, telling me, how good I am and all those things that I really need to hear right now. And so yeah, ask for help in those instances. Yeah, ask for help, ask for support, and ask for support in the ways that you need it. And you'll be surprised how people will come through for you. And say it out loud, say it, share be vulnerable, share those feelings, share that I'm feeling ugly today, I'm having an ugly day today, I'm struggling, it's a bit challenging today for me to think I'm pretty. It's a bit challenging for me today to look at my body. It's a bit challenging for me today to do this or the other. Um, and just surround yourself with voices that uplift you, just so that you can kind of tear down the structures that shamed you. So yeah, basically that's about it. um, I hope this video is super helpful when it comes to learning how to speak kindly and compassionately and lovingly and positively to your body and to yourself, and kind of learning how to minimize negative self-talk and change how we talk about ourselves. I believe that was a nice conversation. I think it's a beautiful way to end this series. On the blog, I also shared on Saturday. Today's Tuesday. I shared on Saturday the a few different ways you can practice some self-care practices, physical self-care practices that you can use to fall in love with your body. As we are closing this chapter again, and yeah, so I'm gonna link everything that I've spoken about in the description box below. I'm gonna link the videos, I mean not the videos, but yeah, I'll link this playlist the YouTube playlist of all these things in the description. I'll link the blog posts that I've talked about, and just like as well as my whole all my other links that I want to share with you guys. And I hope this was helpful. I hope you enjoyed this. Don't forget to share this video, don't forget to like it, make a comment, tell me any new ways that you feel like help you speak kindly to your body, or just how you felt watching this video or how it resonated. Please share this. I know there's people out there who need this, people in your life as well. Yeah, so like, share, subscribe, comment, interact, basically engage with me, because I'm looking cute today and I deserve it. So yeah, thank you so much and have a nice day. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.